and that's cool, and that means I've done something good. But there's no like I'm pissed off at dude because he didn't recognize me. Like I understand his
When
mindset.
life tear you down, it will build you back up. Keep a hold of your crown, lay your paper.
Here we are today, and today is a good day, man. First St. Patrick's Day, Water Green, Lake Michigan. Everybody's feeling good. It's warm outside, and I just want to tell you guys about today, just verse, the journey, the music, the mission. Today, we are diving into some music. We're going behind the music, the culture, and the voices shaping the industry today. Today, we have a very special guest, Grammy-winning artist, songwriter, producer, and activist, Z-Verse. You may know him from his latest EP, Just Verse, his works with Lupe Fiasco, First and 15th label, or his powerful collaborations with artists like J. Ivy, John Legend, and Slick Rick. Verse, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me.
For sure, for sure. Um, I'm excited to be here to be able to interview today. So before we get really deep into this, let's take it back to the beginning. You grew up on the west side of Chicago, is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
How did that environment shape your perspective and your music?
Um, as far as my perspective goes, when you grow up on the west side or any impoverished side of a city, especially a big city like Chicago, you have the complexities of wealth versus poverty. And when you have that, you get to see the poverty and you get to see the wealth. And so I think for any right-minded person, once you see the wealth, you aspire to it, you want to have it. It's difficult to be able to look from the west side, see straight to the Sears Towers, and not feel like you want to be a part of that money, that revenue that's circulating. So when you look at what you want to become in life, right, it becomes more than this bubble or this circle that you are growing up in, and so your mindset starts to wonder what does it take to get there, right? And some people it's different. Some people want to just how to be a legend in their bubble, in their circle. For me, it was different. I wanted to get to the money. I could take the green line straight downtown, and me and my boys, that's exactly what we would do. We would go to Jewelers Row. We would go downtown to Neiman's. We would go to Lord and Taylor. We would go to Michigan Ave. We saw what fashion money could do, and we wanted a piece of it. So
Chicago for real.
yeah, yeah. So that's the perspective. That's the mindset. And as far as the music, I think if you're smart and if you care about your people, your music should be reflective of who you are, where you from, the circumstances and the situations. Some people they like drug dealers, right? In a sense where they'll just give you the poison, but they don't really want to give you like the truth about the situation.
Yeah.
And for me, I saw it differently. I saw a lot of people that suffered, that went through hard times, circumstances, and situations that were difficult. People in my own family. So how could I not want to tell you about getting out of that? How could I not want to preach about like, yo, what could we do to change this? So the music is reflective of those things, and my music, since I was a kid, has always been reflective of like what we are versus where we're going versus what we want to be.
So you spoke on family, and I know everybody has a different experience, but my experience with my family, when I told them that I wanted to be a filmmaker, when I told them that I wanted to be in the film industry, I wanted to be able to work and collaborate with artists like yourself, do or die, work with celebrities like Tiffany Haddish, Marlon Wayans, just to name a few. They told me, not that I'm getting on y'all, I love my family, but they told me things like, oh, get a real job. There's no opportunities in that. Did you find sometimes that the people who you relied on most kind of like let you down?
Um, yes and no, right? Like they never let me down because I never expected them to lift me up, right? You know, I understood at a young age that my audience had to be like bigger than the people that were around me. If I were depending on the people that could see me for like maybe what I've been through or what they thought would be my cap, they would never understand. They would only see like they only see life from the lens of what they've accomplished, what they think they can accomplish, what they've seen people accomplish. So I kind of like I was heavy on philosophy as a kid. You know what I mean? Like we talking at 7, 8 years old. This is what I specialize in. I'm a youth activist and motivational speaker at 8. And so my mindset is different. I'm seeing that you have to depend on not what you see, not what you think, but outside of that small box and frame of where you are and look into what hasn't been done and what could be done and be limitless in your mindset. And so as far as family goes, yes, they talk 100%. Those are that are closest to you are sometimes your biggest critics. Sometimes out of love. Sometimes because they don't know what you're capable of, so they want to be realistic.
And then sometimes they don't want to see you fail.
Yeah, exactly. They want to like I had family members that tell me like, "Yo, you all you do is you're in the studio. You're not making no money like that. Like you need to get a job." You know what I mean? And they were not saying it because they want to see me fail. Some of them do want to see you fail because they get jealous, and there are those people that's like that. So I got a song "Hurt Don't Hurt" on Just Verse EP. It talks about that because some people do see you ascending, and they want to bring you down. But sometimes, if you expect the people that haven't been through something, haven't accomplished something, to tell you, to accompany you, to motivate you to get somewhere that they've never been, you a fool.
That's why you got to keep the right people in your circle.
100%.
So let me ask you this. Was there a specific moment when you knew music would be your path?
What specific moment? I always say there was, but it truly wasn't. So, long story short, um, I always thought that was like when I was 12, that was this great epiphany of like, well, in two parts. One is shout out to No ID. Dion was what we knew him by at the time. And one of the guys from the neighborhood hooked me and my guys up with No ID. We didn't know who No ID was. He said, my guy Dion has beats. And we were going to Coconuts in North Riverside to
For the
get,
side?
oh yeah, we were going there to get A-side, B-side records, Nas, or whatever it was, to get the instrumental. We were doing shows in Garfield Park and performing. I think that was what was the name of that show?
What was
Talent.
it?
I think it was called, used to be a show on TV. It was called,
Are you talking about the play, the Chicago network where everybody would do? What's the
yeah,
name of that
yeah,
show?
this is probably
Damn, I
exactly
forgot the
it.
name of this.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah. We're gonna
But
come
we were,
back to that
but
one.
we were doing shows, so like, because I had my crew from Fifth City, you know, shout out to my guys, the young cats. We was the young cats at the time, Fifth City. We was doing shows at that age, and it was Do or Die there. It
Do or
was
die.
it was
Shout out B-Lo. Shout out AK.
Crucial Conflict. It was Kilimanjaro and the Mercenaries. It was um, uh, it was what's the queen name? Psychodrama and Nuisance
Lola Demone.
and it, you know what I'm saying? So we was around all of them, and we were performing at the time off instrumentals because we didn't have production. I was paying for production, like with my crew. We were going to Best Buy and making beats right in the. I would make beats in the store, and then we would put it on cassette and record it and take it to the studio. So
Ooh, you
we
taking
just
us way back.
yeah we was hungry, man. Like we was hungry and we was kids. But long story short, you know, after me destroying a couple of artists that were kind of like making some noise in the city, they realized that it was like, yo, Shorty crazy. And one of the guys, Mike, he hooked us up with No ID and Jay Boogie. Actually, matter of fact, Jay Boogie hooked us up with No ID. My guy Mike hooked us up with Boog. Boog hooked us up with No ID. And Jay Boogie started the the brand, and I want to get this right because it's definitely an influential brand in Chicago. Um, what's the name of that brand?
I can't call it.
They got like deals with Puma and everything. I'm super proud of what they've accomplished and what they've turned into, and we'll figure it out. But anyway, J Boogie had his own brand. It was just J Boog, and then that turned into something else, and then blah blah blah. But long story short, hooking us up with No ID was the moment when I got No ID's production. I was like, yo, this I can be the artist I want to be. I have the tools.
I noticed that you just named some of the greats, which honestly is a great segue to my next question, which is who were your biggest influences growing up? Because I believe you and I, we grew up in the time of, like you said, Do or Die. We grew up doing Twister, Crisscross, those times, cassette tape days,
Yeah.
the box.
Yeah. I mean, to be quite honest with you, when I first met like Twister in a music setting, he really didn't want to hear me. So I've always kind of held that as like I hated that, just because of the fact that like shout out to White Mike I get it, I was a shorty, but I was nice, and so I was around them cats, but my biggest influence came from Tupac, Jay-Z,
Definitely.
AZ from New York, and then like I realized that there's a video of me that I didn't know about until I didn't really realize it until I was older. When I was 8 years old, I went to Africa for a year, a part of the American laboratory school system, and and that's a whole nother thing in
Oh,
itself.
trust me, I got some questions about that too.
Yeah. So, but to that point, videos of me like Tretch rapping "Naughty by Nature." You know what I'm saying? Like, and shout out to Tretch because long story short, one time I'm in Chicago, we're at Global Mix with Mary Datcher, and we in Tretch is kicking it, and I'm just loving the fact that it's Tretch and not really knowing the connection, and we're in Excalibur downtown and at a show, and he and one of their records comes on and he hands me the mic, and like in front of a sold out crowd. Like, he just handed me the mic to spit the lyrics, and I'm like, I know it verbatim. And me, like a lot of stuff, I just don't know verbatim because I've been writing my own music for a long time. And then a couple years later, I see this video. I'm at my pop's house. I see this video of me rapping "Naughty by Nature," 7, 8 years old. And so I realized that I've been a student of the game for longer than I knew. There's another video of me that I found when I was like, I'm a kid, and my dad's got the video camera going, but he forgets to turn it off. Like he used to often forget to turn the video camera
swear,
off.
they never turned the cameras off back.
And so like I'm sitting there, I'm on the couch watching this video, and then all of a sudden I come into the frame maybe 15 minutes later. I'm sitting on the couch. I probably used to smoke weed back then. I was probably high. Didn't want to get up. And then I'm rapping, and I'm like a kid, like probably 5 years old. And I'm saying like real lyrics. So I realized, I say, man, this has just been something that's been in me for a very long time.
I hear that. A lot of us, especially in Chicago, South Side, West Side, we just kind of like grew up into the music, which actually makes me want to know about your unique journey in the music industry. How was that like working behind the scenes before stepping into the spotlight?
I mean, we call it paying your dues, right? But it's tough when you're a kid and you know how nice you are. Like, mind you, like I've been doing music before you knew who Kanye West was, right? You know what I'm saying? I've been doing music before you knew who 50 Cent was. And so, and yeah, I was a shorty, but I felt like I knew the skill set that I had at that time. But it's difficult because at the time it's fewer studios. It's fewer opportunities.
Definitely.
And even though you're nice, it's like really knowing how to record, how to like to make a record. You're not verified in that department yet. So a lot of times you're just around working behind the scenes. So I was always hungry. I take pleasure in saying that I was around. But truthfully, those was very tough years for me. Like knowing what I was capable of, knowing what I wanted, and being having to like just sit back and wait.
Yes, definitely. Can you share some spotlight on working with other artists, renowned artists, up to winning a Grammy? I mean, that's big. Tell us about that.
I mean, so I'm gonna say it like this. I've always believed in what I do. Very few artists that I really hold in a grandioso space of like awe, right? However, being around, which is what I like more so than just like saying I'm on a record with you or you have this accolades that you've achieved. It really doesn't matter to me. Really when it comes to art, I look at what fits inside of what I do and how we mesh together. Who you are as a person. I've never been like a coattail rider the way I'm like because you sold 1 million records or because you're on BET. That doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
What matters to me most is the message. What are you talking about? What are you saying? How do you like? What part do you play in history for the people, for the culture? And so being around, I've been around so much. Like I don't want to start name dropping, but being around labels and people and artists and things over the years, I've always been very competitive. I honestly just wanted to destroy them. I wanted to just show them what I was doing was on a different level. So it's great to be around, but it's better to be around like-minded people. It's better to be around people that are aspiring to give the same message that I give, uplifting my people, uplifting mankind,
Yeah.
uplifting humankind, philanthropy, you know what I'm saying, social services and all of the things that we kind of move away from and the people that are impoverished and the mentality that they have and not only why they're there, but how they got there. And, those are the things that matter the most to me. So the artists that I've probably met all my heroes, uh,
Nice.
and
Say don't meet your heroes. Were they right?
don't meet them. Nah, they were wrong. I mean, nah, they're wrong. It just depends on the situation and how you meet them and the experience you have with them. And sometimes I met Jay Z. Jay Z's my favorite artist, and I met him at 3H birthday party, the 3H from Capitol at the time, in New York. He walks right up to me, and it's like a magnet. Like he's every all type of stars is there, but he walks right up to me, and we start talking, and he's locked in, and I feel like-minded people they lock
That's
in
right.
like that. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question about that because something I find very interesting is when you are in a room and nobody knows who you are, and then one day you get your big break, you see that same person,
Yeah.
and now they're coming approaching you. So what does that feel like when if it would have been maybe a month before that day if you would have met Jay-Z a month sooner or a year earlier when you didn't really have your platform and he would have walked right past you to now a year later and he notices you and say, "Hey, what's going on, Z?" And he knows you. He knows your music. How does that like what kind of effect does that have on you?
I mean, like I get it. Like it's just about it's like being somebody is you feel like we all are somebody because we're God's children. But being in a place where somebody recognizes you, sometimes you have to be recognizable, and sometimes celebrities and other people of stature they don't they don't know who you are because they meet 1 million people. And I'm not Jay Z, but I can meet 1 million people and not necessarily be able to connect with all the people that I meet. You know what I mean? So when I see people and they don't know who I am, or we don't have our moment, I'm not necessarily taking it as a disrespect or anything. I take it as motivation. It's like be great, and you'll be in a position where people can't forget who you are. They can't miss you. They can't look past you because you're that big. And I've been in situations and circumstances where they have to say, "Oh, that's verse over there," and that's cool, and that means I've done something good. But there's no like I'm pissed off at dude because he didn't recognize me. Like, I understand his mindset, and I understand that when he's out, he's meeting people, he's in a million different situations, he's in different circumstances, and it's difficult to ask someone of a superstar or star status to really just to be like, I'm gonna have the time to recognize you, see you, and know your value. They don't.
I understand that. So Z Verse,
Yeah.
the name,
Yeah.
it's versatile. Let me ask you, how did you find your name? Like, how did it come to you?
So my mom, right? My mom is into like we'll be riding in the car, and she's into like light rock, right? And then we might be listening to gospel,
Nice.
and then we might be listening to John Mayer, all type of different artists. And then I found my love for classical music. I always wanted to be a composer, and now I'm studying Bach and Chopin and all these other people, right? And then reggae and all of that draw is pulling me, and Bob Marley and Faye Luckman and all these people, from around the world, just because I've
Around the way?
traveled and been open to the world at such a young age. So, but I'm still from the west side of Chicago, so when I'm coming home, I'm like rap is my outlet, and it just as easily could have been like light rock or classical or jazz. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm trying to think, how do I incorporate all of
These elements?
Yeah, and these elements are me because I love them. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm just a fan of them. I feel like all of them is me. Like Nine Inch Nails was my first like heavy metal rock group that I was like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy.
My first rock group was Hoobastank. So
Right. See, exactly. So now that I got love for all that, now you get versatile because my music is reflective of it. I'm reflective of it. My demeanor, energy, and approach to the world is reflective of versatility. And so people start saying, man, you so versatile.
when I was in high school, I was in chemistry class one day, and this guy comes in, and the whole entire class is like, they're in disbelief. They're like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. He walks up to my chemistry teacher, and he's like, what's going on? And then my teacher says, oh, what's up, Lupe?
Okay.
And then I was like, Lupe? Who's Lupe Fiasco? Like, I'm in high school. So, this is before I knew who Lupe was. And then I got him to sign an autograph for me. I was like, Lupe Fiasco? I said, okay. He signed an autograph. Right after that, I heard his music for the first time. Kick, push, coast.
Yeah.
How did you get connected to the 1st and 15th?
Well, okay, so I would have to take you back to, of course, being probably 11, 12 years old on the west side of Chicago. We're basically right around the corner from each other, And so at the time, the rap business and the industry is very, like, y'all got to come see me if you rap, And so John and Vo, which is tied in with Shorty Capone, and Shorty Capone and Chill is like 1-2 punch in the industry. Raw Dope Records and First and 15, which is Raw Dope is the house of Crucial Conflict, and also was the original house of Lupe Fiasco.
Shout out Cohart.
Which he was the pack. So Navi, Lupe, and Sosa Karan, which was a butcher at the time. So long story short, that's the west side of Chicago, and the west side of Chicago is booming as far as rap goes. You got snipers, you have, psychodrama, you have Do or Die, you got Raw Dope, Crucial Conflict, all of that. And so, me being an artist is doing shows and making noise and, being a kid, but I'm not like a regular kid. I'm like in people's face, and I'm willing to, spit bar for bar with anybody. And so John and Vo comes to see me, accompanied by Alizé and KT. And that were producing for like the R&B, Dark Quiet Child, or Quiet Storm, and all of that.
Oh,
I
man.
remember. So, so long story short, me and Lupe were right around the corner from each other, but never knew each other. Very had been a part of very similar things, but me and him just I didn't know I had heard of him, but hadn't met him. And so, long story short, after I destroyed a couple of artists that came to see me in my hood, you know, it was like, yo, we got to introduce him to Capone and Chill. And so,
A philanthropist, and with in a known as a philanthropist, but a bully on the beat.
yeah, yeah, and that's how I met my uncle Chill, and and Shorty, and the rest is just like coming to the studio and working and being around. At the time, like I say, being around and just when it's your time to spit and they knew what I did at the time. So
When it's your time, it's your time.
yeah, so that's how we were. And this is before Kick Push and all of that, and we're just a family now, and we're a label, and we're a group, and we working. And
Childhood friends, man. That's the way to start. Like, I'm an avid believer of the people who you start with is the people you want to bring with you. Speaking of that, Just Verse,
yeah,
EP. You want to tell us about it?
yeah, man. So just verse. I'll just break down the name is because I am versatile. I am Z verse. I'm even gentle verse. Um, and I wanted to do this EP to kind of launch since Chill's home. I wanted to launch our campaign, what we're doing now with First and 15, now that he's home, with the energy of just being me, just being verse, right? Like also like taking a combination of a little bit of all the parts of me, because before Chill was locked up and gone, that's what you got. Like you didn't get so many deviations of versatile. You just got verse, and that's what I was known by, and that's what what I'm saying. I felt like Chill would just be like be verse, and that was enough. And he would always tell me like, bro, you cold, so it don't matter the marketing. We don't have to do this and that. We just be verse. So this EP that kind of is the first project you get from me from First and 15. Now that he's home, it's just verse, just verse.
Got you. Legendary producer, soundtrack, and Adam Gray.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
yeah, man. So I've always been a fan of soundtrack production. Of course, to be in a position where we're just like working and we're having many hundred songs in since Chill's been home. We were working on stuff before Chill came home, and just we didn't know he was gonna. It was a surprise, honestly, because there were times we thought he was coming home, and I know you asked me about soundtrack and Adam, but just I gotta. So when he came home, it was just like, wow, right? And so now we're really, really locked in, and we're really hungry. And so Soundtrack, shout out to Soundtrack, he really just grabbed me and was like, let's go. What do you want? We talked many discussions of like, how do we paint this picture? What does it look like? I think Soundtrack always appreciated my versatility, and so musically, he wanted to kind of be able as a producer to do more and to be able to produce different sounds and different energies that he knew I can accompany, and so we just got it going. And so Adam Gray, man, super dope producer, comes from Soundtrack's camp, and with like No ID, I think a lot of them kind of tied in together that I didn't know about. So now we're in a position where we're just working, and everybody's, when we want to do something, we want to make a sound, everybody just, putting their construction hat on, and they showing up to work, and they making sure that they are producing the best music to accompany that, and that's what Soundtrack and Adam Gray does at a consistent and at a high level.
We are all our worst critic. What is your favorite track on the EP? And what is the message that the EP as a whole you want people to receive from it?
I think the message is encapsulated in Face the Music, right? A record that kind of speaks to like you can listen to this, you can take it for face value, and it should feel good, it should sound good, because it's music, and I understand the value of it feeling good, sounding good, and you being able to be like, I like that track. But then there's a second side of it that's saying if you're facing the music, you're facing essentially that phrase means to face the consequences. And so, what is the consequence of who we are as a people, where we are, what's happening politically, socially, and all of those other things. Um, and and so we have to face the music. And so the music should speak to the culture. And so that song and the music, that's exactly what it does. Because every song on that EP speaks to something that people are going through. You know, hurt don't hurt. You got a song like that because people get numb in life. You get old enough, you get numb, and if you don't get numb, you get depressed or you get addicted. You know what I mean? Or you get incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? Until you get numb.
Or the worst, you get complacent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Complacent.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this was my opportunity to kind of, like, it's difficult in the music business because, especially when you feel like you got talent, like you can make the next Shake Your Ass record, and you know you can send it up. You know what I mean? I'm pretty cool guy, right? I know how to send a party up. I know how to make the strippers shake that thing. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You feel? You know what I'm saying? So since I know that and I understand that, and you know what I mean, and that's a part of me too. Like I don't have to put it on. Like I'm really like that for real too. You know what I'm saying?
We grew up doing Chicago juke music,
like
so you know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the streets of Chicago. Like I'm the Chicagoist. You feel me? Like with the name and the respect on a whole nother level. So I make a decision consciously every day to be me, right? It ain't like it just come easy. I make a decision. I'm like, feel good to be like, I don't care, but I'm gonna just care because that's a harder road. And now I'm on the phone with some of the homies, and I'm trying to care, and I'm trying to uplift them, and I'm trying to come to community events, and I'm trying to do things to that overall gives the community a platform. So the music is reflective of that. I'm reflective of that, and I spread it. I'm contagious with it.
I love that you went in that direction because I was just about to say, they say that art is reflective of life, or life is reflective of art, right? To people, to each his own, right?
Yeah.
What some people may not know about you is how heavy you were or are into social change. You even had places of employment where you were like a manager, right? And you worked in marketing as well, right?
For sure.
So how did you use your platform to continue?
It's your homework. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, are you mad at me? Can you be mad at me?
No.
You know what I'm saying? You got a LinkedIn page, man. We all got one.
Caught my LinkedIn slipping.
So how do you use your platform to you know, to advocate for civil rights?
I mean, so it's just like, I don't even look at it as my platform. I look at it as my duty, right? And whether I affect 2 people to 200 people, doesn't matter. Like a lot of people that I know, too many people that I know, they don't care about nothing once they make money. They are liars. Like, you feel me? Like, they try to pretend like they care about all of these things, but the truth of the matter is the moment you remove them from it, they don't really care about it no more, and they don't care about bringing people up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then they'll use the excuse of, like, I'm not big enough. Like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't say nothing because who am I? You know what I'm saying? And the truth of the matter is to motivate starts, like, I don't care if it's 5 of us, and we motivating each other, and then you go and you motivate 2 more people, and then you calling your family members that's talking stupid, and you like, man, that sound dumb, man. Like, you need to stop that, because the truth of the matter is, if you know the streets, like I know the streets, you know what crack cocaine and pills and meth and what's the fentanyl does, then you can't champion it the same way. You can't, and I'm not like even if I don't cut your head off for you being like a dealer or you being addicted, right? Because it's like if I smoke cigarettes, like I smoke this vape pen. You understand what I'm saying?
That's cool.
Right? I had this vape pen. I'm not gonna tell you like this vape pen a bomb. Like you feel me? It's so good. I might smoke it and you might like this dude versus vaping like he ain't perfect. And I'm like, you absolutely right. I'm not perfect.
We all
I be
human,
vaping,
man.
right? But what I'm saying is I also wouldn't tell you to do it. I would tell you like I would tell a kid of mine or someone that I care about like, hey, I don't know, I started vaping because I used to smoke cigarettes because I used to do this and I did it and I kind of got addicted to it. Like, but if I was you, I would stay the hell away from it.
So you don't believe in glorifying some of the worst parts of our urban community, and we all know what they are. We know that drugs, violence, promiscuity, things like that. You don't believe in using your music platform to promote that area.
Forget my music platform, my voice in any room. You see what I'm saying? Because like sometimes I learned this at an early age. People will look at you like you being a goofy because you telling them like, or you a sellout or you a clown because you saying, man, like, what you talking about? You see what I'm saying? I got no dudes that be showing off their guns and stuff like that. I keep a gun, you see what I'm saying? But that don't mean I'm finna pull it out. It ain't. I keep it for a reason, the reason ain't to show it to you or it to be fun, cause it ain't a fun thing to have,
It's
and it
not.
don't feel good when you pulling up to the crib and in the middle of the night from the studio and you gotta have your gun in your hand. You feel what I'm saying? Like that. That don't feel good when you gotta circle the block and make sure. It don't feel good when you worried about like, man, nigga, I had that little decent little watch on. A little hater probably try to hit me for it, cause when you gone, you gone. So what's cool about that? You know what I'm saying?
It's not. And it's all fleeting, man. It's all momentary. We can't take it to the grave with us. Um, have you had a moment where you have like got that feeling, or you seen how your music impacts people's lives?
Yeah, yeah. So I was on tour with Lou, and I never forget it. It happened 3 cities in a row. Um, and this girl walks up to me and she says, "Hey, I was really thinking about committing suicide." And she said, "I heard your song, I Care." And when I heard that song, she said, "I walked in the show late. And when I walked in and I heard you saying, I care, I caught the tail end of like the last verse in the chorus. But it was something about your voice, something about what you were saying that resonated. It caught me and it pulled me on stage." Those was her exact words. And I knew somebody cared and I knew I was worth it. And I was like, for real? Yeah, that's what's up. And I believed her, and I appreciated her sharing that with me. And the next city, I think it was Virginia. After that, this dude comes up and he says, "Man, it was like you just pulled me on stage with you." And then the next city, somebody said the exact same thing. And usually for me, every time I get it in threes, it's confirmation. It's like you
Please.
pulled me on stage with you. And then I said, man, this is what it's about. Something about what I'm doing is pulling people on stage with me, and they're feeling what I feel. They're feeling the compassion, the love, the empathy that I give through the music. So if a million people that are not listening, that's fine. BET, MTV, and VH1 is not listening. That's fine. But the 5 to 10 to 100 to 1,000 to 100,000 people that do listen, then that's what I do it for.
You just spoke on the power of threes. That's a very, very strong sentiment. Seeing that you've gotten this place in your career, we know you're not done yet, and
No.
you've already accomplished a lot. I know you're just getting started, so tell me, what's next for you?
Man, I always say, man, whatever's in God's will. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just doing what I love to do. I'm just doing what makes me happy. I'm fulfilling my obligation to my talent, to my God-given ability to make music at a high level. I still want to have fun. I still want to be expressive. I still want to be artsy, and I still want to give my message. What does that turn into? I have no clue. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure it out, just like everybody else is, and I'm trying to stay down, stay grounded, stay in a place where I create, and sometimes it's tough. I'm gonna share my cash app later in case somebody want to donate,
For sure.
because it's financially taxing when you are committed to something that doesn't necessarily give back to you in a financial way. Um, and you sacrifice a lot to do what I do, and it's more sacrifice sometimes than it is reward. And so I think that's important to know to young artists coming up. Yeah, it's not like I want to make music and I'm gonna be rich overnight. And sometimes you could be rich, but you know what it is to hang around rich people. And when you hang around rich people, you could do one rich move, make one rich move, and you broke because your chain is that rich move. And as you know what I'm saying, or your watch or your ring or your earrings or your house or your car, and it's like you don't really have it like that. And it's okay to not have it like that. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to figure out what does sustainability look like for me? Like how do I get in this music business, make a name for myself, stay doing the music, stay moving around, but being financially and physically responsible. And so that's a lot of times we don't know that. We don't know what that look like.
And making financially sound decisions.
Yeah, but who's teaching us that? We
That's
like that NBA player that's just rookie year. You got the contract. You know what I'm saying? We finna act a fool. And I still like driving my fast cars and enjoying life, rolling the windows down in the summertime. Because guess what? I'm a product of my environment. No matter how smart I was or how I thought I was or how much I aspire to these upper echelon things, or I could be in Rome, you know what I'm saying, and at the catacombs and enjoying the art and the Michelangelos, but I have an appetite for that, but yet I still have an appetite for the streets,
yeah,
and I love it.
yeah.
And that's just to be quite honest with you. I mean, I love being, you know what I'm saying, like verse from the city, from the west side.
Hey, you be outside. I be.
Yeah,
Hey,
man, I'm still gonna be me, and I haven't shunned away from it. I feel like it's my obligation to show you you could be black, proud, swagged out, and still be of substance and of value. That don't make you. That doesn't make you without value, because you swagged out and you got your energy that you carry with you, and the world needs to see that energy sometimes just as much as they need to see the intellect.
are there any collaborations or projects that we should look out for? And what legacy do you want to leave behind?
Let me answer the most important one first. Um, the legacy that I want to leave behind is somebody that no matter how low you are, no matter what you think of yourself, and no matter how inadequate you feel, um, knowledge is obtainable, it's achievable, and it's something that you can acquire by wanting to acquire it. That's the key, wanting to acquire it. And if you want it, you can have it. You can go get it. We have so many tools. Back in the day, me and my mom, we used to have to go downtown to the Harold Washington Library and get books on cassette and get DVDs on this, and we'll read in the library and check out books and encyclopedias. And that's how I learned so much of what I learned at an early age. It's about wanting to change, wanting to see difference in my life and the lives of people that I cared about. And so that means everything to me, because I know what it's like to look up and the lights is off and there's candles going on in the house. You understand? I know what it's like to have roaches and rats in the house and mice and not, you know what I'm saying. Even though we grew up pretty decent, we went through this up and down. Like we had moments where it was like we was like my dad got hurt at work and they don't want to pay him, you know what I'm saying? And now we trying to figure it out, you know what I'm saying? So I've lived the best of all lives. There's no gangster, no hustler, no thug that can make me feel like he knows something about the streets, or he's hungrier than I was or I am. And you know what I mean? He's more hardcore, and that stops him from wanting to be something of substance or somebody different in this world. Like, nah, he's just capping in line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like what matters in this world is transparency, honesty, and and it may seem they made you think it was corny, like they put it in the movies. When a black man got to saying something knowledgeable, right? They'll make it seem like he just rambling and talking crazy. Like he look at this crazy nigga. Yeah, like he just babbling, but he's trying to give you the tools. He's trying to give you the intel that says, hey, the circumstances that we find ourselves in, we can change it. If only we came together and we did something different. So that means everything to me. I'm the kid that cried about Malcolm. I'm the kid that cried about Martin. I'm the kid that was affected by Emmett Till. You know what I'm saying? So when an artist like Lil Wayne and somebody else drag his name, I be looking like, nah, I can't just look at that and it ain't cool. Because I'm like, you don't understand. You can't say you for the culture and then do things that are against the culture. You wouldn't be a Jewish rapper and then start talking about Holocaust and ovens and making a joke about it, would you? No, you wouldn't do that. It wouldn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So that matters. It's so much. It's the complexities of like there's layers and levels, like Meek says, levels to this. And so on the very smallest level, I want people to understand how good it feels to be the best version of themselves. As I continue to try to be the best version of myself, because God knows I'm not there yet, right? And every day I'm steady fighting so many things to try to get there. So that's what matters the most. The music, the messages that's left in the music when I'm gone, that my kids will be able to listen to it and say, yo, my dad was crazy with it. They can break it down. They can listen to line by line, bar by bar, inspiration, motivation, depression, suicidal thoughts. It's all addressed in the music. I think if you have a voice, you have to use that voice. Martin Luther King said it best. He said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And so what he's trying to let you know is like, no matter where you are, and no matter what's going on, the moment we continue to turn our back, I let you get killed. I let you die. I let you be crazy. I talk about you. I gossip about you. I make fun of you. But then at the same time, when it hit my doorstep and it's my kids or my community or my friend that got shot and killed, and I want you to kill all of a sudden. So what does that mean? That means pray when you up, pray when you down, pray when you in between, right? Uplift when you up, uplift when you down and in between. Give a damn when you up, down, and in between. Be of substance when you up, down, and in between. That's what matters to me the most. The rest of it, I could die tomorrow, and it wouldn't matter to me the money or the music unless it has the ingredients that can continue to touch people until I'm gone and just talked about and looked at years from now and says like he stood for something, he meant something, he sacrificed, and the sacrifice is everything. And I think it was the second part of your question, which was
Projects, works, what you got next? What's
yeah,
next
yeah,
for you?
yeah. So we have a plan at First and 15th, led by the great Chili Chill. Welcome home, Chill. And I would like to say I'm enormously grateful that he is home and that we are on the verge of turning things upside down. Welcome home. We're about to release so many records this year. We're about to continue to punch this industry in the mouth. Um, I'm on Undisputed, and we're continuing to do groundbreaking things, licensing it, and putting records in places and movies. And I get calls and emails and messages every day about something new, and that's the beautiful part about it. So what's next? I'll be performing at the Taste of Chicago this year.
Nice.
Um, I'll have, by the time people see this, hopefully it would have heard new music. I would just say follow my page
Definitely.
on Instagram.
Shout out to your page real quick.
Yeah, verse_Z verse. Get in tune with me. Subscribe. Send me a message. I'll respond. Lock in with me because we're gonna continue to to be great and put out music and to do things. I can't really encapsulate everything and say exactly what's gonna happen and what date it's gonna happen. It's just happening, and you just got to be along for the ride. Come out to see the shows. Come out to see me in person. Support, and that's what matters the most. People not being scared to support the art, the movement, the music. That means everything. So that's what's next.
Z-Verse, versatile. I must say, this has been an amazing sit down chat with you. I I'm indebted to you, my brother. So thank you for this opportunity, and I toast to you.
Man, my man, my man.
I toast to you.
Denzel style. My
To
man.
you and all your future successes. Z-Verse, man, for life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming through.
When life tear you down, it will build you back up. Keep a hold of your crown, lay your paper.